welcome back to my channel. It's Megan, and today I have a humongous haul for you. I have stacks all around me, and these are all the books that I have hauled between the months of May and June. I have a stack from the Dollar Book Swap. I have a stack from my author meet and greet. I have a stack from the Books A Million clearance racks. I've got a bag here full of books that I grabbed at a grand opening today. I've got all sorts of books here that I'm excited to share with you and excited to haul so I can put them on the shelves and not have this giant stack that was here behind me. But as always, I'm going to kick it off with my special edition books, so if you'd like to skip ahead and not have any spoilers, go here. So I'm going to pull up my handy dandy notebook, digital notebook I should say, to remember which books these are for like which months so that you are getting the accurate collection here. Okay, our May Fairy Loot was Divine Arrivals by Rebecca Russ. I think that this one looks exactly like that Pixar short with the like airplanes and stuff. It's black and white. I think that's what this cover looks like. I think it's so fun. This is supposed to be some sort of mythology mixed with like historical fiction, so I'm pretty interested to pick this one up. Notice I didn't say excited. It's 2 rivals, 2 stories, 2 hearts, 1 fate. And when 2 rival journalists find love through a magical connection, their fate depends on their facing the depths of hell together. Here's some character art from it, and then here are the end pages. This whole thing is just absolutely stunning, and then we've got some cool embossing on the casing there, which is cool. I think my favorite part of it, other than the cover, is these sprayed edges that look like, it almost looks like the Hogwarts letters, but just like mail on the sprayed edges there. Very cool. Gotta restack these somewhere. Next up, let's see, was our May Illumicrate, and that was The Witch King by Martha Wells. The sprayed edges are special on this, as well as these end papers. It's giving Avatar: The Way of Water meets Lost, if you recognize like that kind of vibe. Definitely not the picture I was expecting to be associated with Witch King, but still very cool. And then these end papers are sick as well. Forget if it has, yeah, it's got a nice embossing. It says, "I know who you are, the demon the mortals call king of the witches. Do you promise revenge?" So we'll see what this one's about. Witch King draws together Martha Wells' signature ability to create characters we adore and identify with, alongside breathtaking action and adventure, and the wit and charm we've come to expect from one of the leading writers of her generation. Very interesting. We'll see how this turns out. And then I actually haven't opened this one yet. I think it is, well, I know it's a Fairy Loot adult. I think it's for May, but it could be June. I can't keep track of what I've gotten at this point. It's really bad. It's just not good. Okay, it is June's, and that is Shanghai Immortal, and this is by A.Y. Chow. Half vampire, half fox spirit, all trouble. It's giving like the Wicked Fox and These Violent Delights vibes, so it's like almost like a K-pop fantasy historical fiction drama. Then we've got that casing. And I always love when they have the sprayed edges kind of as a continuation of the cover there. Very cool. And we've got our 9-tailed fox character art here. Throw that over there. And then for Dazzling Bookshop, I just resubscribed to them, and the book I received was Ander and Santi Were Here by Johnny Garza Villa, and I think this looks so cute. It's definitely giving Aristotle and Dante and Heartstopper, and Bloom I think is the other one. I love these sprayed edges. Some of my favorite foods on there. We've got tacos, we've got avocado, guac, we've got some orange juice, or like an orange soda rather, nachos. I love it. And then it's not super prevalent. I don't know if I can even get it to focus, but there's like a stamped embossing on here that says Ander and Santi. And then the next one is a special edition, but it's just a sequel I ordered from Fairy Loot, so it's not from my monthly box. But that is Painted Devils by Margaret Owen, which is the sequel to Little Thieves, a retelling swapped for perspective of the Goose Girl folklore fairy tale, and instead of following the Goose Girl, it's following the villain of the story and like telling their perspective, which I found really interesting, and I really enjoyed Little Thieves. So this is the sequel and I'm excited to read it. Heck yeah, I said excited. It just naturally happens. I can't help it. I'm so sorry. Okay, where should we go next? Let's do the dollar book swapped book next. All of these books I got for $1.25 each. I also do have a ton of childhood nostalgic books like Boxcar Children, Sweet Valley, all those that I purchased as well, but I've already put those away and cataloged them. I've mentioned this before, but I don't really count those as part of my TBR. I'm just collecting them for like a future library or future kids. I'm probably going to reread them at some point, but I'm not like actively trying to read them as part of a TBR, so I don't count them on my physical TBR. So pretty much as soon as I receive them, I just put them right away after I catalog which ones I have. So I probably got like 30 to 40 of those type of books that I got at the dollar book swap that I'm not like going to show here. However, if any of you know where I can get Sweet Valley books, I'm collecting all of them so I can have the full set. Sweet Valley Kids, Sweet Valley Teens, Twins, Sweet Valley High, Sweet Valley University, all the specials, super thrillers, super editions, everything I'm trying to collect. So if you have any or know where I could purchase some, I would love to know. Please tell me. Mostly Sweet Valley Kids is what I'm missing right now, and then like the later numbers of Sweet Valley Twins and Sweet Valley High. I've got pretty much like 1 through 50 of both of those, so I need like the later numbers, if that makes sense. After that rant, these are the books that I did get at Dollar Book Swap that I am putting on my physical TBR and am actively trying to add to my library and whatnot. And each of these was $1.25, and thank you so much to my father for purchasing these for me. So the first one we've got is The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is like a comic or like novelized version of the movie, but it's in manga format, which is interesting, and I think this will be a fun little not only read for spooky time, but also a nice thing to like display out at spooky time. So yes. Next is Ride On, a graphic novel about a girl and her horse, and this is by Faith Erin Hicks, who I love their work, so I was excited to find this one and pick it up. And then I have a few Star Wars graphic novels here. So I have Star Wars The Clone Wars, Star Wars Dark Times Volume 4, and then Return of the Jedi Volume 4, and Empire Strikes Back Volume 2. So as you all know, or if you've been watching my channel, you should know I'm doing the chronological reading order of Star Wars books, movies, TV shows, comics, graphic novels, manga, video games, everything. I just restarted because they came out with new phases that are at the beginning of the High Republic, which is the prequel to the prequels, but that's its own story. So once I catch up on those, then I'll get back to where I was. And then the last graphic novel I got at the dollar swap was The Isle of the Lost, which is a graphic novel of the first Descendants movie. I don't think that this is the first book. I think this is a novelization of the first movie. And if you've read and or watched any of the books or movies, then you will know that the first book takes place before the first movie. So there's the Isle of the Lost and then Rise of the Isle of the Lost, but Descendants 1 takes place between those two. So you almost have to read the books and watch the movies to get the full story, if that makes sense, because the movies are not novelization or adaptations of the books. They are continuations or like fillers of the story. It's really weird, but it's also really fun. So I don't know, I'd have to like reread the book to know if this is a adaptation of the book or of the movie. So we'll see. Then for the books I got at Dollar Book Swap, I got Vampire Academy Book 1 by Rochelle Mead. Very excited to pick that one up because Vampire Academy is always highly talked about, and I do want to watch the TV show, so reading and watching is kind of my favorite thing to do, so now I can do that. Then I got Soundless by Rochelle Mead, who also wrote Vampire Academy, so I just recognized the author name and picked this one up. I don't know what this one is about. In a village, in a world, in a village without sound, one girl hears a call to action and unlocks a power that could save her people. That's what it's about. Then I grabbed Princess Academy and Princess Academy Palace of Stone. I don't know why these are two very different covers, but at least I've got part of the series now. I actually prefer the cartoon cover, so I might look, if I enjoy the novel, I'll probably look for this cover of just the first book. But Royalty, Academy Trope, love both of those. It sounded like it was right up my alley. Then we have The Girl of Thorns, A Girl of Fire and Thorns, my bad. And this is a prequel to one of the books that I received in a LitJoy a while ago. I think it's called like The Bitter Kingdom or The Bitter Crown or something like that, but it's by Ray Carson. Next we have Merlin's Blade, which just sounds like a King Arthur lore story, which is why I picked it up, because I love King Arthur retellings and lore, so I always am snagging books that have that kind of theming to it. Next I grabbed The Demon King by Cinda Williams Chima. This is part of the Seven Realms series. It is a book 1. I did try to pick books that were like the first book in a series, but also I don't know like by heart all these books, so there could be sequels in here, but I did try to pick up book 1s to see if I would like them, but this one just sounded like a cool fantasy. And then when I was younger, I always wanted to read The Uglies and I never did, but I did find 2 of the books as part of the series. I have Pretties and Specials here that I found. I think I own Uglies, not gonna lie. I think I picked it up at some point. So now I have 2 more books in that series. Then I found Beyonders, A World Without Heroes. This is by the same author who wrote the Fablehaven series, which I've not read, but I've heard good things about and I've wanted to pick up. So I thought this one might be cool. It also has like spooky royalty villain vibe. I don't know. The cover just looked kind of fun. So I thought that would be a fun one to read. Then we have The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. And this is, if you knew the date of your death, how would you live your life? So I think it's like 6 siblings or some siblings or friends or something go to some person who can tell them when they're gonna die, and it's how each of them kind of respond to that, like finding that out, I believe is what I've gathered from hearing about this. So I thought that sounded really interesting, and that's why I picked this one up. And then finally, from the Dollar Book Swap, I grabbed City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. I actually own this one in the hardback and the older paperback, but I've mentioned this before on my channel. I'm trying to collect the Shadowhunter series with this spine because I think it looks really cool when it's like facing out on the shelf. That's the editions I'm trying to collect. So because I grabbed this one, I can then unhaul the other City of Ashes I have. Okay, so that's everything from Dollar Book Swap. I'm just gonna post a picture here of me with my full haul so you can kind of get a gauge on what I grabbed. There are books in this box in this picture that my mom purchased as well, so they're not all mine, but most of them were. store. And then later that same day of going to the Dollar Book Swap, I went to Summer Sizzle and got to meet some authors. These are the books that I got from that. So the first one, when you bought the ticket, you got to pick which book you received in return, as like you got one book from one of the 6 authors, and I picked A Crown of Ivy and Gloss by Claire Legrand, who is the author of the Furyborn series, which I love. I've been rereading it. This one was signed for Megan, Claire Legrand. Love, especially since she put a little heart there. This was so embarrassing, but you know, it happens. The email that I first received said that we could not bring our own books. The authors would only sign books that were bought and like purchased day of from that store. So I didn't initially intend to bring my books, and then like an hour or two before I was heading out for the event, they sent an email saying that we could bring our own books, and I was at work, so I came home specifically to pick up my books before I went down. And when I came home, I completely forgot what I was doing and did like 13 other things, and then left and remembered that I left the books here. Essentially, I didn't have the books I own of the Furyborn trilogy to meet Claire Legrand, so I bought the paperbacks while I was there and got the Furyborn trilogy in paperback signed by Claire Legrand. So I told her that she just needs to make another round so that I can get my hardbacks signed, and she was like, I'll put in a good word. She was so sweet. I loved every author I met. Then I also met Lily Chu, so I got the Comeback and the Stand-In both signed as well. Lucy Score was also there, Kennedy Ryan was also there, and Mia Sheridan I think was the other one. I'm not super into like contemporary romance, smutty romance I guess, so I wasn't as interested in those 3. I'm much more fantasy or like lighter contemporary romance. So I met Claire Legrand, Lily Chu, and then one other person I'll show you in a second. That is why I picked up these. And what was fun is that Lily actually gave you a sticker with each of your books. So she wrote to Megan, Lily Chu, and I got this little book stack sticker. For this sticker, she said whatever I draw, because the stickers were all like travel destinations. She's like, whatever I draw is where you're destined to end up someday. There's that. And then the sticker was Australia, which is actually one of my top 3 bucket list destinations. So I'm glad that her sticker pouch determined that I will somehow end up in Australia someday, because that's a dream. Australia, Greece, and like Norway I think are my top 3. Italy's up there too, but I really want to visit Greece and Australia. Those are my top 2. And then the third author I met, her book had not released yet. I don't think it's even released yet still, but the first 300 I think people in line got an advanced reader's copy of the book and got it signed, and that was Kate Dramis, The Curse of Saints. So I got an advanced reader copy, signed and personalized. Thanks for reading, Megan, Kate. So that was super cool to meet her. We had a good little chat about books and stuff, and it was so nice to meet her. Again, all 3 authors were super wonderful human beings, the nicest people. I highly recommend, if you get the opportunity to meet them, definitely do. But if you don't, read their books, because they're awesome people and they deserve it. Okay, so that was those 3, and I will have subsequently put the pictures up above for meeting each of those, hopefully, if I remember to do that, but I should. So I hope you enjoyed those pictures. What's next? I feel like I'm very flustered all of a sudden. Next, let's do the I lost my train of thought. Oh, let's do the Books A Million clearance rack. We'll just bust through these real quick. First, we got Shadow of the Fox, which I own an advanced reader copy of, but I wanted a physical hard copy. Next, I got Cinder and Glass by Melissa Dado Cruz, which is a Cinderella retelling I was excited about. I think it's book 2. I think the first one is Snow and Poison, so I'm excited to see what other retellings Melissa does. Next is Enola Holmes and the Black Baroche. I do want want to watch this TV series too. I'm rewatching Stranger Things right now, and I just love Millie Bobby Brown and want to watch Enola Holmes as well. Next we have Castles in Their Bones, Born to Rule, Raised to Deceive. Ooh. Next is Jane in Love, which is a contemporary historical fiction. Yeah, you heard me right, contemporary historical fiction. Fiction. Oh my gosh. But I believe it includes time travel and Jane Austen, so there you have it. And then I grabbed Court, which is book 4 of the Crave series, which leads me beautifully into my Barnes & Noble purchases, which are Charm and Cherish, books 5 and 6 of the Crave series. I just need 2 and 3 to start reading the series. And then they had buy one get one free, so I got 4 books at Barnes & Noble because I had gift cards. I got Best Served Hot, When in Rome, Summer Reading, and Christina Lauren, because we are heading into summer, and what's better for summer reading than a nice light romance fun contemporary read. I don't know, couldn't tell you because I love it. Then we have my stack from Once Upon a Bookstore, a bookstore that just opened that I traveled to today to check them out, and that is it's a mother-daughter owned shop, which I thought that was really fun. They don't have like a huge selection at the moment, they just opened today, but I'm excited to continue shopping with them and seeing what they get in the meantime. First we have 3 Julia Quinn books that I found that were not part of the Bridgerton series. We have 10 Things I Love About You, The Girl with the Make-Believe Husband, and Just Like Heaven. I also picked up this Star Wars book. I think it's a middle grade, but it's Tales from a Galaxy Far, Far Away, Aliens, Volume 1. Always gotta add to my Star Wars collection. And then these are kind of some of the nostalgic books I was talking about. I haven't put these away yet, so I'll show them to you. But like, I got Boxcar Children 1, 2, and 5 because I needed those for my collection. I grabbed Babysitter's Club Volume 7, or number 7, and then I grabbed Sweet Valley Kids number 5. So those are kind of like the kids books, and then also love these kid books as well, which are like Donald and the Magic Stick. I love Donald. Home Sweet Tree, Berenstain Bears. Amelia Bedelia. Does anyone remember Amelia Bedelia? Love. And then Donald Duck, Mountain Climber. Gotta love it. I love it. That was my impression of Wheezy from Dragon Tales. You're welcome. Alright, what else we got here? We've got The Unmarked Witch, which is by Miranda Lynn, one of my book friends on Instagram who wrote this book, so I was super excited to grab this one. This is Of Crowns and Legends. Not only is this a King Arthur retelling, but it's also an author from Ohio. And then we have The Gilded Survivor. This was sent to me from my Ohio Book Dragons group. Loved this book. Highly recommend if you enjoyed the Hunger Games, you pick this one up. And let's bust through these graphic novels real quick. We have Lore Olympus Volume 4, Seance Tea Party, which is giving the Tea Dragon Society vibes, Fresh Romance, High Republic Star Wars graphic novel, and Cosmo Nights. This was actually recommended to me by the person I was standing in line with at the Summer Sizzle event, so I'm excited to pick this one up. And finally, the end of this huge book haul, we have Attack on Titan omnibuses 1, 2, 3, and 4 because I thought it would be better to collect them in the omnibus edition and easier. So yeah, that's my huge haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Trying to wrap this up quickly because my camera is officially going to stop cameraing in about 30 seconds because it ends at half an hour. So wow, half an hour of a haul. Let's stack all this together so you can see all of my goodies here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye friends!